entered into Tony Tone's world. The Tony Tone's world.
Recording. Press record here because that does help. How was Ryan's football game?
Dude, it was good. Ryan's pretty banged up right now from injuries because he got a pretty bad ankle injury last week. I think I told you about it. How somebody went to a tackle and literally rolled off of the tackle and into Ryan's ankle. So it was pretty sore. He technically wasn't even cleared until today to play. So he was wrapped up pretty tight, but he played. And then sadly, is he ended up getting hurt again in this game in the fourth quarter. There was a fumble where he dove backwards to try to jump at it because it fumbled like forward and it was on a kickoff return. And he dove back at it, but the kid running in on the other team dove at the same time. So he slammed Ryan's neck as he was going for the ball. And Ryan actually laid on the ground for like 10 seconds after he got hurt or hit, and he wasn't really moving. So, as a parent,
your heart
dude,
drop?
so I stayed calm and I told his mom, I said, give it a second. He's working through the pain, give him a second. But she immediately was like, Nick, he's not moving. He's not moving. That's like the longest 10 seconds of your life as a parent.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know. It's like your kid's not moving on the ground. He just got hit pretty hard. But no, he got up. They kept him out the rest of the fourth quarter because his neck is pretty sore, but he'll be all right. He'll work through that one. But they won. They're 8-1, and I actually posted on my story. You can check it out in a bit. But he had a punch out on a forced fumble punch out in the game, and we recovered it as well too. So it was a pretty nice punch out too. He was pretty much solo 1-on-1, and he didn't even realize. I don't think it was intentional. He kind of just grabbed the guy, and the momentum of him being flung around him on the tackle, his arm just perfectly met the ball, and it just popped out. And then they recovered it. It was pretty dope.
Nice. Was that score that I saw like 3 hours ago? It was like 47-3 or some shit.
No, it was 29-8 in this game. 29-8. Yeah.
Okay. So they pretty much handled them pretty easily.
Yeah. It was a pretty good game. They probably shouldn't have even given up the touchdown, but they broke a little bit and gave up the TD. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, their defense has been solid all year. They haven't let anybody score very very many points on them all year.
You remind me of there's a couple things. One year, I've never had that happen so far yet with Ava, but one year I was playing baseball or football with Jason in high school, and he got laid out. He was a running back. He got laid out on the sideline. The ambulance had to come and stuff like that. And at the time, we're like, "Oh, he's gonna be fine. He'll bounce back." But now that I'm thinking about, like, as a parent, dude, that'd be fucking crazy. I'd melt down. I wouldn't even know. That'd be crazy.
Shit's scary because it's like you're just sitting in the stands and you're seeing your kid injured. You don't know how bad. You can't go run onto the field. You know what I mean? Like you're almost a little powerless at that point. Well, in general, you're powerless because one, it's like if he's hurt, you can't fix him or anything. You have to trust the coaches and everybody to check him out and make sure he's okay. But yeah, no, it's definitely a little bit of a scary feeling.
Every second matters, though.
Yeah.
It's that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, hopefully he's good. The second story I wanted to bring up real quick was when I was in high school. I was on a softball football team. You know how you ever play football in high school?
Yeah, but I didn't stick with it.
Okay, so we're practicing it, and you're like a defensive end or whatever it is, and we had for whatever reason I was a cornerback, but I was doing like lineman drills, so I was hitting the little dummies, get in the 4-point stance and come up and hit the dummy right in the chest, right?
Yeah.
Well, I fucking injured myself doing that. And to this day, I have the last bone in your back. I don't know. I guess it's like the part before you become a a coyote or some shit. The
Uh,
tail part, it's actually chipped on my back. I've never gotten
oh,
it.
like your tailbone, you mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
basically.
yeah. So,
Wow. How the
it's
hell do you hurt your back hitting those?
bro, I don't even know. That's when I knew football was in my career.
You just like jammed yourself? Like I thought you were gonna say you hurt your fingers
No,
or
I just
something
went
hitting
up
the.
and oh shit.
You must have jammed yourself the way you hit it. Like you're
My angle
that.
was so precise that I fucking cut my tailbone. That's how I tell people.
That's
So
that's.
precise.
I mean, I don't know about precisely wrong is what I would say. I don't know about precise in a good way because what the hell? That's funny. I mean, it's not funny because that's probably gonna
No, and
hurt
now,
you.
well, now it's funny. Back in the day, it would hurt because people were like, "How the hell did you get injured practicing on a dummy?" You know. And I'm trying to struggle through the pain, and then I also did wrestling for a little bit and stuff like that. So it always fucking bothered me. But
I
yeah,
mean, imagine when you get a little older and some of those pains start
yeah,
kicking
oh,
in.
for sure, for sure.
Then you're gonna be like, "Fuck that dummy" for the rest of your life because he jammed you up in your back.
Did you ever, or have you ever? So me and my brother-in-law will go watch our kids play whatever sport they're doing.
Yeah.
Typically, it's usually with basketball with my niece, and we'll watch her play basketball and stuff, and we'll make a spread. Have you ever made a spread on your kids' football game or any sort of game?
I can't say I have. I can't say I have. I guess I'm
It
not that
makes it
much of a degenerate.
it makes it interesting. Let me tell you, we bet every field goal, everything like that, or not field goal, free throw, everything.
That's hilarious.
It's pretty funny, but it's entertaining.
That it would be funny because it's like it'll be quiet at the game, and all of a sudden you have a random parent, you guys
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
cheering for
Us in the
something.
corner.
Yeah, cheering for something so stupid. Like, hey, why is he going crazy for that free throw? They just hit the over. Let's go. Like, like something so stupid.
Usually it's like a bottle of beer, like a little amount of money, but still, it's pretty funny.
No, I
Um,
could definitely see where that could, make things fun when it's, obviously it's innocent between you guys. It's not like
yeah.
anything, I mean, it
Well,
is a little bit of a degenerate type of betting,
oh,
but
for sure, 1,000%. We tell her too, and she gets a kick out of it. It's pretty funny.
I mean, they just like that you show up to give them support and you're in the
Yeah, yeah,
game, you're watching. They love it. They won't
yeah,
always necessarily say it, but they if they would make them feel different if they didn't have the support. You know what I mean? So they
yeah.
love it.
You just can't be one of those dickheads like I was back in the day with my daughter, when she was playing travel ball. You know, you see those people on Instagram or like TikTok where they're going fucking nuts about their kids and stuff like that. If they do something wrong, I was that guy for one season, and then never again will I ever do that ever again. That was the worst
Yeah,
I still regret that shit to this day.
because they get embarrassed and then they start
Yeah,
thinking too much and they get their head in it. So with Ryan, um I've always given him feedback, but I don't really typically try to do it in like a negative way, at all. Where like for baseball, because he plays baseball too, he'll actually ask me sometimes, like if I don't say anything, he'll be like, "So do you have any feedback? Like, you have anything to say?" And I'm like, "Oh, like sometimes I do it on purpose because then it's like it's nice that I know he actually wants to hear it. Other times I
right.
know when he doesn't, but um it's funny though with football, he always when certain things happen, he goes, "I literally know this already. Like you're saying the same thing as my coaches." I said, "That's cool." So that just means I know what I'm talking about, right? And
Right.
he just kind of shakes his head like, "Whatever, dad," because they hate when you're right as a parent.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
can never admit it and they don't want to ever hear it. So yeah, it's funny.
I do the same shit. I do the same shit now more so like before I used to talk to her like right immediately after the game. Like we'll walk off the field together and tell
Mm,
her what she did not wrong, but like what she did right, what she did wrong, things like that. Now I've come to the realization that it's probably, or it seems like it's better that I let her get home, unwind, take a shower, do whatever, and then we'll talk about it in a couple hours.
yeah.
And that usually seems to work better. Um,
Because she let go of like some of the emotion of,
right.
whatever it was. Because they know when they did something wrong and they get upset themselves. So then when they have a parent tell them about it, it's almost like double negatives, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
never does anything. So yeah, no, I completely get that. That's why I always have like positive things to say too, right? Like, oh, dude, you when you did this, that was that was kick ass or this and that. Like, I always try to have that balance to feedback to positive, just because they need both, obviously. I mean, it's always good too when there's more positives to talk about and you don't even have negatives to really say too. But even
Right.
in those situations, like I always try to see like, oh, do you remember this? Like, this is probably what you could have done to make a little bit more improvement. Just because you don't, in the way I grew up is like, you never want to be under the impression of like, you're perfect. You did everything right. There's always something, no matter how little it is, that you can work on to improve a little bit. And, it's just part of the game of progressing and getting better. So even those
Yeah.
little things, I mean, sometimes it's like you're nitpicking, but it's like, to me, if you're not nitpicking sometimes, then you're not getting better. You know what I mean? You're going through thinking that I did perfect today. And that's just not the case. It's
Right.
not realistic.
Dude, there's a team that Ava plays for right now that she guest plays on um,
Mhm.
when they're down players. And I shit you not, this is the guy that you typically see on Instagram or TikTok that I did not, that I once was like yelling at his kid and everything. Like it's crazy. It's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I mean, for 3 years now, he's done the same shit. So it's kind of, I'm like, oh man, every time I'm like near him, I'm like walking to the other side of the field. Fuck this.
You're like, I don't want to be associated with that guy.
Yeah,
He's like,
fuck this. That was me. That's my old me.
we have one mom like that, and she's funny because I think it was 2 games ago where she was yelling quite a bit. And then her son scored a touchdown because he's our running back. And she yelled back at him. She's like, all right, I'll shut up for 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes. I'll shut up because he did a good play and got a touchdown. And everybody just started laughing because like she knows she's loud. That's just her.
Yeah,
She and I get it. It's not like she's saying anything too belligerent, but it's like that um type of like push that's positive, but like she's not beating him up, but she's pushing him to do what she expects. So it is a little much, but it was funny because she ended up doing that twice in that same game. She's like, all right, the first time it was 2 minutes, and the second time she's like, all right, you got 5 minutes this time. And she's literally yelling this out and like talking to him, but everybody can hear. So it's not like
yeah,
she's just like, saying it under her breath. Like everybody hears her like, all right, you got 5 minutes. I'm gonna shut up. Like, so
yeah, yeah.
it just makes it more funny.
I wish we had that. I wish there was a louder person. I think I still am the loudest person on the sideline. But here's the thing. Let me ask you one thing. So in soccer, my daughter plays mainly offense. So typically, um, you line up on the side your kid is on. If your kid's on the left side of the field, then you're on the exact opposite watching, right?
Yeah.
Most parents don't move. They just stay there and watch their kids. Me, when Ava's attacking whatever goal it is, I go with them, right? Go with her. And because also I'm videotaping and stuff like that.
Right.
So I found myself a couple times so far. Like saying a couple things like, Ava, you're faster than her. Get past her. Because like there's a lot of times where she's just so much faster than these kids.
Yeah.
And so all she needs to do is like do one little move or push the ball forward and go forward and I've caught myself a couple of times now saying you're faster than her, but not like being a dickhead, but and then a couple parents look at me and I'm like, oh shit, that's probably your kid. I'm like, my bad. I don't
Because
know
you're
what to
near
say.
them, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So have you ever heard anybody shit talk about your kid's team or your kid?
Not about my kid specifically, no. But there has been situations where, so with football it's a little different because you're in the stands, so you're not really walking around. You're literally both teams are typically on separate sides, right? At the stadiums.
Oh,
So,
right, right, right.
but he's played 7-on-7 in the past, and that the 7-on-7, there's been a few times where like both teams are on the same side. And it wasn't where there was specific shit talking, but it became like a competition of like, who's cheering louder for their
Yeah.
kids and then hyping up certain things.
It's crazy how competitive that could get.
Yeah. Oh,
Those little
hell
things,
yeah.
the little things, dude. It's
Yep.
so funny. That is
So
so
like when
funny.
the defense makes a play and they get hype, and then the offense, and then it's like, yeah, that's right. They get loud. That's how you work. Just shit like that. That
Yeah.
that 100% happens. But no, there's never been any specific shit talking that I've heard directed towards my kid. Thank God, because I don't
Yeah.
know if I would have like stayed quiet. I'm not really the person to like. But you know what? I can also understand like if he did mess up, like I get it. I might be like, well, what the hell was that kid doing? Like not necessarily talking shit about the kid, but just almost thinking out loud.
Right.
And it can be taken out of context. You're not meaning it in a negative way. It's just like you're supporting the same way like when you support your team on TV, like you're just saying shit out loud of what you're seeing or whatever. So I could see that. And I try not to, you know, think negative in a way, like if somebody's talking direct shit. But like I said, I can't recall a specific.
See, you're a better person than me because there's travel ball that, like what I was telling you about, where I go side to sideline side. I go each side. I do the same thing in our high school games as well, but it's a stadium, so like just like where they're playing football. But I
Mm,
don't. They don't typically go on the opposite. Like we don't typically sit on the way section, or they don't sit on the way. Everybody sits in the grandstand, like the main section,
yeah.
and so you're a better person than me because as soon as I hear somebody like say take the ball away from her, like just the littlest thing, my mind just goes to pettiness. Now I want to be louder. Now I just want to be even, but then again, I also try to, you know, even it out to where I'm not an asshole, right? To the
uh,
other parents and also to my own daughter. So it's just funny being a parent watching your kids.
But you know what? You're right though. I'm not that way. I don't like. I just don't resort to petty. But I love it when certain people do, because
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love hearing it, and it just cracks me up because it's like, to me, I want to egg on the person being petty because it's
Right.
like talk your shit. It's like talk that shit out. Because I am not. I don't know. I guess I'm just not gonna do that. But I love when people do it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, but when they're losing, they're getting their ass whooped. I'm quiet as a mouse. I'm in the car ready to go.
You're like, shit, I gotta look
Like,
down because I was that guy being petty last
I,
week,
I
right?
need to go. I need to go home before I say something stupid.
Been
That's funny.
there, been there with baseball. Luckily with football, he's been on pretty good teams. I mean, this year they're 8-1 with the high school team. So yeah, that's always nice when you're not on that other side of the losing, but
Yeah.
I could see that.
All right. Well, before we get into this week, appreciate everybody tuning in. Tony Tone's World Podcast Super Contest Series with my man Cruz here. Please like and subscribe. Um, we won't go through every game. We've already talked a little bit already, just about other shit. So, there are a couple games I do want to get into, but man, we had a tough week, and we're gonna blame it on Sam.
We're blaming it on Sam. Our
That's the
our
title of the podcast. Blame it on Sam.
It's all Sam's fault. Absolutely. Sam came in and kind of just messed up our flow. We were 5-5 the week before, and then he came in and kind of messed up some of our stuff. And yeah.
You never listen to a person that's been having a couple beers. God damn it. And we did.
Uh, or at
Um,
least don't let him push you away from some of the games that you probably would have agreed on and bet. Like, I'm pretty sure you and I would have 100% taken the Colts over the Dolphins. I think you and I agreed on it. And Sam was adamant about taking the Dolphins.
yes, he was.
So that was one we 100% would have won in replace of one of the games we lost. I think
But,
they're
but 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 before you go forward, I mean Anthony Richardson didn't look great either though.
no,
He
we
only had, he
didn't.
only had 129 yards. I mean, the game was not that impressive at all. But we would have both. I agree with you. We both did pick the Colts, and we, for whatever reason, shied away from it.
Yeah, I mean, it 100% was a shit game. Like, I don't even know where their points came from on both sides, to be honest, because they did nothing. I don't know. It was a shit bowl.
Yeah.
I think the Dolphins QB, which was their second string QB, got hurt, and then they brought in a third string. It was like just as bad. You know what's funny is I actually saw a meme about the guy. I think his name. Let me pull it up. It's Tim Boyle. So this guy Tim Boyle.
Tim the Tool Man Taylor.
Well, dude, this guy went to like Washington or Yukon or something like that, right? And this guy went there for 4 years and he was a backup and literally didn't play. He had like 3 touchdowns or something like that his whole college career. Like, how does a guy like that end up as a backup in the NFL on a team like Miami? Like, I don't, it didn't make sense. Like, people were like, you can pull any Joe Schmo like to be a backup if that guy can make it because he was
Right.
obviously never good enough to be a starter. He only threw, I think it was like 3 touchdowns and he had 4 picks as well. Like, dude was just not a good player, and somehow he's starting or took the place of the starter in an NFL game. Like, it was really funny. It made me laugh because it's, you just never know how a player ends up on these teams, but that he was there.
Yeah. Um, one of the good games I did see was the Lions and Vikings.
That was a great game.
I was actually happy the Lions won to make the Vikings defeated. You know, not
Yeah.
to let them undefeated. So I did like the game though. You know, the ending field goal was a little dramatic. I was actually at a soccer game watching this on my phone, so it was pretty cool. The only, one of my guys on fantasy football is James. What's his name? Jameson Wilson or some shit. J-
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking suspended for
Jameson Williams.
Williams. He's suspended for the next 2 games. So that sucks.
Performance enhancing.
Drugs, yeah.
Yeah.
So that sucks. So now I gotta find a flex. But yeah, he was doing pretty well before this week. But oh, and then David Montgomery went out this game. That was hard to see.
He got hurt, but he came back. He came back and he's not out. So he is, I think he's just a little banged up.
Jameer
But
Gibbs looked pretty good though.
Jameer Gibbs is a dog. I mean, I may have a little stretch, but I did. You saw my text in the group chat for
Yeah,
our
yeah.
fantasy, and I'm being honest. Where I honestly think that Jameer Gibbs would be, maybe top 5 is a little bit of a stretch when I started thinking about 5 guys for running backs, but I 100% that Jameer Gibbs would be drafted in the first or second round, guaranteed if Montgomery wasn't there. If you have like these guys are both, if you have them both, just like the guy who you played, they're 100% able to be started on your team, both of them.
That's so wild. My cousin started both Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery against me. And obviously Montgomery went down. I mean, he didn't do much, but what in the right mind would you ever start the same running backs from the same team
You
outside
know,
of these two? I mean, I can't name one duo that I would never ever start like that.
so you know what's funny is in last year, I ended up with both of them. I ended up drafting both of them and I had them as well. And for the first half of the season, I was always like, which one do I start? Which one do I start? Which one's gonna have the more, yards? This and that. And for the second half of the season, I want to say I played both of them for majority of the games because it came to a point they were both consistently putting up 12 to 15 fantasy points where
Yeah.
it's like when you have that consistency from 2 players, why aren't you starting them both? Like it's not as if you're hurting yourself by, or it's a benefit to you to sit one and play that guessing game. Like if you're getting that consistency, why not play them both? It's just that's the name of the game with fantasy is some of those guaranteed points that you're gonna have. You have your boom and bust players, but sometimes having that guaranteed points consistency from players is where it's at when it comes to fantasy.
Now that I think about it, I can think of 2 sets of running backs actually: Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler back in the day.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who it was, but C.J. Spiller and was it Devin Singletary or C.J. Spiller and Frank Gore in Buffalo,
I think
or was it both? I don't remember.
it might have been both. I think so. CJ Spiller also split with somebody. It might have been Eckler or somebody else. On the Chargers, I think it was. That was the first team he was on, or maybe that was Sproles. I'm thinking of. You remember
I think that was
Sproles?
Sproles.
Yeah,
Sproles,
yeah.
another
Similar.
good one.
Yeah,
Sproles,
yeah.
yeah, Melvin. So I get it. I guess I kind of want to retract that statement, but still, you don't see that too often where
Yeah,
you're playing a team in fantasy football when there's certain both running backs on the same team.
it just depends the type of team. I mean, they're a heavy run team. And the one thing why it's viable is Gibbs gets a lot of balls out of the backfield. Montgomery doesn't get as many as Gibbs, but the fact that Gibbs gets more balls out of the backfield, it helps with PPR. And that's the difference too, is
Right.
it's more viable in a PPR league opposed to a standard league. Because standard, you're going purely based off the yards, and you don't get that extra points for the catches.
Yeah,
So I think that's the caveat as well, where you're able to do that with two running backs.
I agree. And it looks like the lines were up pretty. We're going in the second half. They're up 21-10. So I mean, they're up for a significant amount of the game, and it wasn't until the end where the Vikings actually put up 12 points in the fourth quarter, and it made it close. So it was a good game. I was happy to see the Vikings lose. Ultimately, I wish they would have tied or some shit where they would have both lost, but that's not happening.
Yeah.
One of the blowouts that we expected, but it didn't come until late in the game, was the Bills and Titans. Bills had me scratching my head in the second quarter. I'm like, what in the fuck is happening right now? Are we really gonna? Is the Bills really gonna actually lose this game or make it this close?
Yeah, they started out kind of slow. I don't know what was going on. They definitely started out really slow, more than you would think. And I think your boy Will Levis didn't even play in this game. He was like
No, he
announced he
did.
got hurt or
Mason
something.
Rudolph. Mason Rudolph played.
Yeah. But yeah, they
Will
started out
Levis.
pretty slow. I think it was a running game for like they couldn't get anything really going on the ground, and then Josh Allen started doing Josh Allen things and had some pretty nice like he had a pretty nice bomb to I think Keon Coleman down the field.
Oh,
Yeah.
and then he got a TD with Amari Cooper.
Yep. They got a TD with
I don't
Cooper.
know if you saw the replay, but they had a thing where like apparently Amari was unsure of what the route was, and they're both Keenan Coleman and him were on the same line, and he looked over and they were talking, and then basically Keon told him what to do, like what the route was, and he did it, and then that's when he scored the touchdown.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I mean, but when a guy literally transfers to your team,
yeah,
like
yeah,
what,
yeah.
4 days, 3, 4 days, he doesn't know the playbook.
Right, right. Um, Falcons Seahawks, man, Seahawks blew them out.
Yeah. And if you recall, this is the game Sam picked for the week. He picked the Falcons. They
He
were
did.
favored by
Falcons
3.
-3. Falcons only scored two touchdowns, one in the second, one in the third, and somehow he thought he was gonna. Ah, what a horrible pick. Kirk Cousins had one TD for two interceptions for 232 yards. Bijan Robinson went off though, 103 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, he's been killing it for me in fantasy. He's consistent. I don't know. Kirk Cousins looks good and then he doesn't look good. But that's been always been
That's
Kirk
always him.
Cousins.
That's always been him in the Vikings.
Yeah, it's always been him. He's just
Just
kind
never
of
know what's gonna happen.
yeah.
He reminds me of a Dak Prescott, really. I mean, honestly. And when
Oh, this guy.
come playoffs, you really don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. You know he's not gonna perform, but we'll get there. Um,
Okay, buddy.
uh, again, my fantasy. I'm just putting my own personal fantasy. I have. I only play two fantasy football teams. So if you guys are listening and you're like, man, this guy has 15 receivers. No, it's not. I just have two football teams or two teams that I manage. DK Metcalf went off for 99 yards. He did go out. He's week to week now, so I'm hopeful that he comes back this upcoming week because man. That guy is such a beast. There was a replay of him holding a DB when he was defending or not defending, run blocking, and he was run blocking with one arm.
Yeah.
You literally had to do with one arm, just like this, just straight out,
He's
just nothing,
he's a
easy.
massive dude and his muscles are the size of your head, like his biceps are
Yeah.
the size of your head. Well, maybe not the size of your head. You got a big head,
Yeah.
but his biceps are pretty
Dude, I
big.
make DK Metcalf look small.
Yeah, okay, buddy. Your head makes his bicep look
I would
smaller,
love
so
to run
but
against a DK Metcalf in the 40 just to
dude,
see.
He'd pick you up one-handed like fucking Kane and then just choke slam your ass.
Give me 3 months. I could probably make an NFL team.
You're the size of his leg. Come on.
Right. Oh, I love just the perfect height that you give me.
You're like 5 foot nothing? Like, come on.
Come on, bro. How you gonna talk? We're on a camera, dude. You're an asshole. Texans Packers. Oh man, I really wanted the Texans to win this game.
It was close.
It was a close game.
It was close.
It was, what was it? The ending was the Packers with the field goal.
Yep, they had a field goal at the very end. Yeah, the Texans. So let's be honest, the Texans kind of sold this. They should have scored a touchdown on their final drive, I think it was, and I think
Wasn't there a penalty?
Yes, I was going to say. I
Yes.
think it was a penalty that messed them up, and it caused them to kick a field goal. They would have won the game if they got that TD. So they had their opportunities.
CJ's stat line was not great. 10 for
No.
21 for 86 yards. That's like Bo Nixon. That's a Will Levis right there. He threw up a Will Levis.
He threw up a Will.
No,
he didn't
a
have
Bo
the
Nixon,
interception.
A Bo Nixon.
Well, actually, if you look at fantasy, Bo Nix has been killing it the last 3 weeks or something like that.
Bo Nixon of week 2.
Yeah, there you go. Bo Nixon
Bo
week
Nixon week
2.
two.
I think you throw up like 60. Well, hold on. That's almost like Caleb Williams too in week 2. I think you throw up like 67, 90 something yards.
Never.
Come on, it's a fact. Look it up.
Never speak about Caleb like that again.
Look it up. I'm almost positive in like week 2, the dude didn't have over 100 yards. Come on.
I don't want to look it up right now.
Yeah, I bet you don't.
No, but I mean, I don't know. Like Joe Mixon ate it up, 115 yards for 2 TDs, and then other than that, I mean, there wasn't really much else from the Texans that they could do.
Dude, Joe Mixon has been killing it. I have him in 2 of my fantasy leagues. I have 3 to Tony's 2, but I have him in 2 of my leagues, and he's been killing it since he came back, man. He looks like he looks like a rookie out there, like just excited and running for, I mean, he has so much life again. Because he was carrying the Bengals for so many years, or helping carry the team, because that's when Andy Dalton was good, when he had AJ Green and all those. Yeah.
Oh, AJ Green, dude. AJ Green was a beast.
AJ Green was a beast back in there. Mixon was on that team, but then, some of those guys got hurt, and, the Red Rocket kind of started to decline, and Joe Mixon was just the one guy left. And, Burrow came in, but they ended up letting him go, and he wasn't playing as well with them anymore. But now,
wasn't he injured too as well?
That I don't know. I don't think he was injured. He may have had I don't think he ever got hurt. You know what I mean? Not like a knee or a Achilles. Some of these injuries we're seeing this season is wild right now. But Mixon's killing it. Needless to say, Mixon's killing it right now. I love it because he's just lighting up the scoreboards for me in fantasy. He had those few weeks he was out for like 3 weeks, I think, because he got that hip drop tackle on him, so it kind of twisted his knee, so he was out for like 3 weeks this season. But since he's been back, yeah, I loved it. The points.
The last 2 weeks, Romeo Dobbs has fucked me over.
Really?
Well, not really, not me. I fucked myself over by not playing Romeo Dobbs. Last week he had 2 TDs. This week he had 94 yards. I just gotta start playing him. I did pick up Tucker Craft in one of my leagues, so he's actually been pretty solid. But
he's like the number 5, one of the top 5 tight ends this year, overall points throughout.
Yeah,
been really well. But I feel you though, because it's hard playing Green Bay's wide receivers right now, because you never know which one it's going to be. It's a different one every single week.
I mean, he literally threw 3 touchdowns to Donovan Wicks, 3 receptions, 48 for 1 touchdown. Tucker Craft, 33 yards for 1 touchdown. Josh Jacobs, obviously running back, but 16 yards for 1 touchdown. So it's like he's spreading the ball around, but yeah, it is tough. It's tough.
You never know which one to play. That's why I've kind of stayed away from them, because there's too many. That's just such a committee in the wide receiver. It's hard.
it's like playing a Patriots running back when Tom Brady was playing.
Yeah, yeah,
You just never know which one's gonna go off on that day.
yeah. And you had guys like James White go
Right.
off random weeks for like 40 points, and it's like, who the fuck is that guy? You don't even play him half the time, but he kills it in a
Yeah.
or in a PPR league because he catches 15 balls out of the backfield for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns, and it's like nobody started this guy unless you had 3 guys out and a guy on IR, and it's like, oh shit, I guess I'm gonna play James White this week. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's just yeah, it's hard. It's hard to consistently pick one of those guys to start every week because the weeks you do start them, they don't do shit, and the weeks you decide, I'm gonna go with somebody else this week, they go off.
Right. Yep. Another game, Eagles Giants. I mean, I'm not really surprised that Eagles beat them. I thought it would be a closer game, to be honest with you. But the Giants just look horrible.
Dude, look at the amount of sacks that were in that game. It was
And
insane. He
yeah,
couldn't do anything.
the sacks, Saquon Barkley. Did you see what
Oh,
he almost had 200 yards?
well,
He needed 13 or 14 more yards for his career line, for his career high.
yeah.
And there was like a video of him saying, "No, don't worry about it. Let the young bulls eat." I was like, that was pretty cool, but I would have gone for the 13 yards. But
Like, go get your 13 yards real
yeah,
quick. Like, go
go get
get it
those.
real quick.
Yeah,
Like,
uh,
you don't need to be that humble, bro. Like, go get your 13 yards.
imagine
You know
that
what I mean?
you're playing against an entire different team on the other side of the ball that's trying to get you, and you almost ran the field twice, back and forth.
Well, dude, you got to remember, this is a revenge game for him. This is the team that
Oh,
didn't
right,
want to pay
right, yeah,
him,
yeah,
that took, it was a revenge game for him. So he was running a little harder on every single snap. You feel me? Like,
yeah.
he had a point to prove. Like, yeah, I put in work for you guys for so many years. You didn't want to pay me. And I left to go in the interdivision and beat your asses solo. He didn't beat him solo because obviously there was obviously
Right.
throwing yards, but he put him on his back and just ran all over him. I mean, it was like a Bigfoot truck just driving on the lane, running all these dudes over and over. Like the dude just was a monster.
Yeah. I don't have him in fantasy, but I wish I did.
Yeah, yeah. He's been killing it this year. But yeah, no, I was trying to look at the amount of sacks that happened in this game because it was insane. There
Um,
were
sacks
eight
allowed, 8.
eight
Yeah.
sacks. They sacked Daniel Jones 8 times in this game, and they just literally couldn't do anything. He had 99 yards. So this team, they actually screwed me, and I showed you it. I had a eight pick
Mm,
parlay
yep.
with a bunch of anytime touchdowns. Um and so 6 players, anytime touchdowns, and 2 were overs on yards and this and that. Every single one of them hit, but Malik Neighbors, and it was like, oh, Malik Neighbors, he's coming
What
off
made you
of 2
put
weeks
that?
off.
What made you put Malik Neighbors?
Because Malik Neighbors has been, when he's healthy, like look at his stat lines. The dude's been killing it. He's had a great season, but he's been out for 2 weeks because he had a concussion. He's coming back. It's a interdivision game. Like, I thought they would just go off and they just got stopped.
What app do you use?
Underdog. The Underdog fantasy app. Basically it was Epic Parlay. It was for $800.
It's just prop bets, right?
Yep, yeah.
Okay,
It was a $10. Well, it's like yeah, basically like fantasy prop bets
gotcha.
type of things. But so basically, it's like the yards. You can bet the over or under on the yards. It's over and under on everything, but there's no like, how we bet the lines for teams. There's none of that on there. It's specifically
Gotcha.
like stats that you can do. That's the downfall of living in California. You have to resort to betting on stupid shit like that. You can't, bet legitimate
Unless you
type
go
of.
to Bovada or some my bookie.
Yeah, but I
Not
remember
sure.
we talked about it.
Yeah,
Bovada, I didn't
there's a
really
little
trust either.
sketchiness.
And what's hard to get your money out. Like,
Yeah,
it's like they have a chokehold on your money, and I just didn't
you
like
gotta
it.
do crypto. That's the way. The black
Yeah,
market.
probably.
But
Probably. I just didn't do that.
either way, this episode's brought to you by Prize Picks. Use promo code. What's your promo code?
My promo code? No, it's underdog fantasy,
I
not
know, but
prize
what's your
picks.
underdog fantasy? My bad, wrong. Rewind. This podcast is brought to you by Prize Picks, and use promo code.
Now you gotta make me look it up because I don't even know it by the top of my. I'm pretty sure it's just my name, my account name, Cruiser87. Cruiser87.
Cruiser87. Sign up. Get how much money back for every deposit?
Actually, they match. They do match your first
Oh,
deposit. They
okay.
match it, and it's a legit match. It's 100%. Because I did it my first time, and I didn't have a problem getting money out either. So
Nice, nice. All
yeah.
right. Well, now that we got through my first ad, uh, oh man, I feel bad talking about this game. Not feel bad. I don't feel bad for anybody, but the Chiefs and 49ers. The 49ers just seem like they cannot catch a break this year.
Dude, everybody and their mom is hurt right now.
Dude, it sucks so bad for them to be a 49. I mean, I really do. I mean, I like CMC, obviously, but I don't know. I thought obviously was hoping for higher hopes. I wasn't expecting the Chiefs to be 6-0 by this time of the year. Thought they'd have at least 2 losses, but
Listen, listen. I love it.
oh, really?
I love that they're banged up and losing
Oh,
because
I
all
get it.
those
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
49er fans, like, y'all can kiss my ass. 49er fans, y'all are, whatever. Take these L's because I mean, obviously their team's better than the L's that they're taking, but they just have everybody out.
Yeah.
Um, and the only bad part is we play them this week, and obviously we'll talk about that, but now that I'm talking this shit, our
Yeah.
team better show up because
Dude, Kareem Hunt gets signed. He scores a TD on his first week, right? And then he scores 2 TDs this past week.
dude, Greenland's killing it. Yeah.
Bro. He's back to work, like he's back to doing Kareem Hunt type shit.
Yep. Yep. Like he never left. Like he
Oh,
never
and,
left.
and they just not picked up, but traded for DeAndre Hopkins, which obviously DeAndre Hopkins on the second part of his career, but
Yeah.
he's still a fucking good receiver.
Yeah. He's still a good receiver. He's not a wide receiver that can technically be overlooked. Is he going to be the guy that's you have to double team every play? No, but he's a quality guy who has great hands. And if Patrick Mahomes puts the ball where it's supposed to be, he's going to catch that shit. He's
I think
not a
he's
rookie.
I think he's the equivalent to probably like Amari Cooper going to the Bills. Like
Yeah.
I would say the same thing about Amari Cooper. I don't think necessarily you have to double team him anymore. He's a little older in age too as well. That what a bullshit ass cup you.
Ooh. Where'd it go?
God, you would drink out of that cup right now.
Damn
But yeah,
right.
I am interested to see what
Hopkins.
Hopkins does, because Juju Smith Jr. was not doing it. He just wasn't that
He
number.
never really was going to be that
Yeah,
consistent
he's
guy
always
for
been that
them.
slot receiver, like that Wes Welker type guy, the inside the marker type guy. He's not gonna be the outside receiver. So
Well, he had like
I
one good year with the Steelers, and then they wanted him to be that guy when they got rid of.
he has a big frame too. He can be that guy, but he
Yeah,
just has not been that guy.
he's just not that guy.
Yeah,
He needs a number one guy to be a good number two. Like he's that number two that when you have a number one that takes two players away and opens up space for him, he's a quality number two because there's space open. Like that's
right.
the type of guy Smith Schuster is to me because it was proven when um Antonio Brown when Antonio Brown left the Steelers and they wanted Smith Schuster to be the guy, he failed trying to be that guy because he just wasn't it once Brown was gone. And
Yeah,
then he just kind of went down a rabbit hole. He couldn't be that guy with the he was with the Patriots, couldn't be the guy there. I think he went somewhere else too, and now he's with Kansas City. Like he's just not that guy. He might
dude,
have little good weeks here and there, but he's not.
what a great segue to two receivers, a number one and number two, a number one that complements the two that complements the number one, the Buccaneers.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh God, I have both. Oh no, I just have Chris Godwin in my league, but I do like Mike Evans because I've had him in the past. But man, oh, it was sad to see Chris Godwin's injury. and then Mike Evans went out. I don't know what happened with him. I'm not really sure if he's in week to week or what his injury is, but damn, that was deflating.
So they announced that he's out for 4 weeks. He's going to be
Oh,
back after their bye, which is like week 11. So yeah, they're going to sit him because, which, dude, look, I get that they wanted to go at this game. They wanted to test themselves and push themselves to beat the Ravens because the Ravens are kind of like that top of the heap team right now, right? Like they're the top of the Super Bowl contenders right now if you're looking at the top
yeah.
teams. So I get it. And but they were down what 34-10 in the third. Yeah, for sure. They scored 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and they made it maybe a little interesting and fun, but like one, Mike Evans was hurt going into that game. He
With
was
his hamstring, right?
visibly right. He was
Yeah.
visibly limping around. Their plan was to only utilize him in the end zone for touchdowns and limit but he was still out there running routes every single time. If you're only going to use him in the end zone and the red zone, then what the fuck is he doing running routes out there? Like it's
Yeah.
you're literally just putting more work and terror on his hamstring that's unnecessary. It's ridiculous. Like this is complete on the Buccaneers, in my opinion. Their coaching, they should have understood. Like, look, yes, it's a team that we want to beat, but one game isn't the difference of us winning this division. It's already a weak division.
Yeah.
So we can give up this game if we have to. Let's not risk our guy and Mike Evans, sit him. And then Godwin shouldn't have been out there running routes in the fourth quarter with a minute and a half left. And he gets injured when you're not going to win that game. It's very clear you're not going to win that game. So to me, I'd be pissed if I was a fan of those coaches and those coaches just shit the bed and screwed their team because now they have to go to a number one guy who's a rookie, McMillan, who's now probably going to be he's going to be their number one guy, and their
I, pi-
tight end,
I
who's not like anything special.
yeah. I picked him up off waiver wires.
I did too. I did too.
That's-
The funny thing is what because we were talking about it in the chat, right? Because right when it happened, David and I were texting, um, and I almost said I was like, "Oh, you better get out there and pick up McMillan," but I'm like, I'm not gonna say that because obviously we're all in a fantasy team together, and I'm not gonna tell everybody who to go pick up. Like that'd be
yeah.
stupid. So I held off on that text, but yeah, no, I went and picked them up in a league or two as well.
That's funny. Um, yeah, I completely agree with what you said. It sucks. I mean, I did have Chris Godwin. Again, personal, for selfish take here. I did have him in my fantasy league. Fuck. He was doing pretty good for me. Um, again, somebody just keeps eating every week. Every week. Derrick Henry and
Yeah.
donkey of the day or clown of the day, clown of the week. Let me put my face mask on real quick. That's me because there was no way the Buccaneers were going to cover +3 because they just got their ass whooped.
Yeah, and I almost specifically say that you thought that they were going to shut down
I
Derrick
thought,
Henry
I
as well.
thought, I thought they were coming off a good week. They could put up a lot of points. I mean, they did put up 31 points, but again, Lamar Jackson puts up 5 TDs. I mean, first quarter the Buccaneers scored 10 points, and then after that they went on a stall until like the fourth quarter. But first quarter, I was hype. I was ready to text y'all and be like, "See what I told you? See what I told you?" And
I
then,
was waiting for it actually. I was waiting for
I quickly was like, "Ah, shit."
it. What's funny is I was waiting for your text, and then when the Ravens went up, I wanted to text back and talk. I wanted to like text myself and talk shit to you, but then I was like, I can't because my game that I picked, which was a toss up a little bit, was the Chargers were not winning as well. So I'm like, shit, I can't talk shit when
Oh
my
yeah,
pick
the
is fucking
charge.
losing as well.
Let's go.
I'm like, damn.
Dude, great segue again. Natural segue. Chargers and Raiders. They were not looking good until, I
Chargers,
mean,
Cardinals, not the Raiders. Cardinals,
oh, I'm sorry. Yes. What did I say?
Raiders.
I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong thing. Cardinals. Yes, you're right. That game was not looking great until obviously they pulled it off in the fourth quarter. But yeah, the Cardinals were not doing anything. I mean, are you worried about Marvin Harrison Jr. right now? if you're an owner of him?
I actually am. I am in 2 leagues, and I'm contemplating sitting him this week, because I just don't have faith right now in him consistently putting up his projections and where he's at.
Did he get 0 points? I don't have a reception on him. Did he have a reception?
He didn't have it. He had 3 receptions and 21 yards, so he had like
Oh,
5 points or something like
you're
that.
right. Yes, you're right. You're right. Sorry.
Um, so yeah, he didn't do much. But it was funny. Well, not funny, but I saw something that said, "Does Marvin Harrison have a Kyler Murray problem?" Because obviously Kyler Murray is the one throwing him the ball, and you know Kyler Murray's had a very up and down year so far, where he's looked good,
Yeah.
and then the others he just looks really bad. And I don't know. Maybe it is a Kyler Murray problem because I don't see Marvin Harrison doing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's not running great routes, but then again, Kyler Murray seems to be always just dancing around in the backfield.
I mean, he had that what 60 plus yard run for a touchdown.
Right.
So I mean, there's always that. Um, I mean, if you look at it like the player stats, reception wise, I mean, Marvin Harrison had 3 receptions. I don't know how many targets he had though. That's the key question.
6.
6, and then Trey McBride had 5 receptions.
Yep.
So I mean, it's only a 2 reception difference, obviously, but I don't know how much Trey McBride targets were, but I mean, they're not far off. But I mean, obviously, he only threw for 145 yards in total. James
Right.
Conner, he ate up. He had 101 yards. So it just looks like they couldn't. I mean, 100 and what, 170 something yards in running themselves. So looks like
Yeah.
they just couldn't really stop the run in general. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of stressing about this game. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, the Chargers should have won this game. They just couldn't get the ball in the damn end zone. They had like they had 5 field goals, and I think all of them were within, or several of them were like under 20 or 30 yards. Like they just they couldn't get the touchdown. They couldn't convert the touchdowns. And that was the main problem. But they should have won. Herbert had 350 yards passing. They didn't run the ball all too well, which is really what the Chargers want to do, and that's their primary, but they just
And
couldn't get the ball
Charge
in the end zone.
Chargers had 2 fumbles. The kicker for the Chargers had a 59-year old 50. Oh my God, I can't speak for a second. 59-yard field goal, which
Yeah.
is, I mean, Jesus Christ. Let's pay the guy a little bit more money here because he's keeping you guys into the game.
Cameron Dicker. Dicker the kicker.
All right. Any other games you want to talk about real quick? Did we not cover? I mean, we didn't go over everything, but I guess we can talk about the Jets and Steelers. Jets and Steelers. Is Russell Wilson their quarterback? I mean, I guess he did put up 37 points for them.
He played well.
Yeah.
He played well.
Part of me wanted to see Justin Fields kind of be the starting QB there, but it doesn't matter to me. I mean, it's not my team. But more so on the Jets. What the fuck is going on with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets right now?
Dude, I don't know. I really don't know. They just don't look they don't look great right now. They don't look great. Obviously, they tried to force it a little bit to Devontae a few times, but he didn't really make much of a difference at all. Maybe they have an O-line problem, or just I don't know. They didn't look good. Which game
Hmm.
did we win? I don't even remember what game we won.
Oh, well, let's talk about it here. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah,
All right. So we won uh,
Commanders.
the Commanders, yes. Falcons lost. Sam, horrible pick. Commanders. Who picked the Commanders? Was that all of us?
I think it was a group pick.
Okay. Um, Jets. Was that you? No.
No, remember we did 2 group picks, and I think the Jets and the Commanders were the 2 group picks.
Gotcha. Buccaneers. What an idiot. Chargers.
What an idiot.
What an idiot. All right. All right. Let's get this show back on the road. Let's try to get some fucking wins here.
Yes, sir. I think we got some good opportunities this week.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right. So we have Vikings at Rams. Vikings -3.
I love the Vikings here.
I do. I do as well. I do as well.
Yeah, I think they got a bounce back week. The Rams don't have much of a defense. I do think they'll give up some points to Stafford and Cup. Cup will be back this week. But yeah, I know. 3 points, Vikings will cover.
All right. Titans at Lions. Lions -11.5.
That's so many points.
That's so many points in.
I almost love it though. I'm almost like let's do it. But I think we have honestly I think we have
Some better games.
I think the Ravens against the Browns at 8.5 I might like better just because one, it's a little less points, and to me, it's equal. The Browns don't have a quarterback now. Well, they're
We gotta
finally
talk
going
about
to
Deshaun
Winston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Winston can fling that ball though sometimes. I mean,
He
he
can.
reminds me of Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. He's high risk, high reward. He's
Yeah,
high
yeah.
risk, high
Boom or
reward.
bust.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Dude,
talk
okay,
about
so
that.
real quick, hold on. Because we didn't talk about this. Did you see the fans what they started chanting when Deshaun Watson went down?
I didn't see what they were chanting now.
They were literally the stadium, bro. Like I'm talking it wasn't just a group, but there was a shitload of people chanting you deserve it.
Jesus Christ.
Literally you deserve it over and over and over. And like Deshaun Watson, you can literally see him. The dude's bawling like he's hurt for one, and I don't know if he's crying because of what they're saying too and it's all adding up together, but dude, that's I don't care what you think of the guy. Yes, there was some shit that went down. Maybe we don't know the specifics. We know that there probably is some shit that went down. There were settlements that happened. Yeah, he fucked up, whatever. But to verbally like that's their quarterback and to start hating on him and saying that type of shit after he's injured, like, dude, that's wild.
That's pretty nasty.
It is nasty, dude. To say you deserve it, I can't. Like I could never support that. Like I just I don't know. That's wild to me. Fucking
Yeah.
Browns fans. Like I get yeah, maybe you were done with him and maybe you didn't want him there anymore, but to just talk about beating somebody up when they're down, like I was like, holy shit, that's wild. Like I would never no matter how
Ye-
much I hate a player, I would never like be happy or chant about their injury.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, he got all that guaranteed money out of that contract too. Good
Yeah,
for him.
he had to
Okay.
pay off those settlements.
Yeah, well, that's true too. That's true too. That's so funny. But yeah, that's true too. Packers at Giants, or sorry, Packers at Jaguars. Packers -4. I feel like this line should be higher.
Yeah, probably. It is an interesting line. That might be one that we can think about.
Okay. Falcons at Buccaneers. Falcons -2.5. I don't know. The way the Falcons just played and the way the Buccaneers are coming off with all these two major injuries, kind of want to shy away from this game.
I agree. I'm not comfortable picking the Falcons, but I also don't know what the Buccaneers are going to look like without their two top wide receivers. So yeah, I'm good with shying away from that too.
Colts at Texans. Texans -5. Again, I would say the same thing. Like CJ Stroud did not have a great game. I would almost lean the Colts to be honest with you.
The Colts defense is
Well,
horrendous.
actually, Colts aren't they? Don't they have a missing wide receiver right now too?
Pittman, I think, is out, or is it Pittman or is it Downs?
It's
One of the two.
Downs.
One
I
of the
think it's
two is out.
Downs.
Yeah. But
Uh,
dude, who's out, and I don't know if he's gonna play is Taylor,
oh,
um,
okay.
the running back. he was out. He's been out the last 2 weeks. He should probably be back, but I just don't know. But dude, the
Yeah.
way the Texans are playing and the Colts' defense is just horrendous. They're just they're not great. I think the Texans run all over them, and I don't think CJ Stroud has to do a lot this week to beat them.
Okay.
I just don't. I like the Texans in the game.
Okay. Jets at Patriots. Jets -7.
Jets are -7.
Yeah. Are you gonna lean Patriots on this one?
Dude, I would lean Patriots. Drake Mays looked good. He's played well the last few weeks. I mean, he's not an all-star, but the
Yeah.
dude's playing well.
Yeah. I'd have to agree. Eagles at Bengals. Bengals -2.5. Kind of a toss up here. I can see both teams winning.
I can too. I think that's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to see the Bengals lose. I mean, win. Sorry, excuse me. I want to see the Bengals win, but I think that's just
Your
I'm an
pride.
Eagle hater. No, just because they're in our division and it's
Right,
the
right,
Eagles.
right, right. Cardinals at Dolphins. Dolphins -3.5. Can't take the Dolphins serious right now, so I would have to lean the Cardinals in this game if I had to bet something.
Well, the big question mark is Tua going to play?
Right.
Is Tua going to play? How comfortable is he going to be back?
If he's gonna get hit one time and then all of a sudden go back out.
Right. That's a big. There's a lot of question marks there because obviously, if Huntley, who was the second string, is gone and it's Tim Boyle again, we saw how good Tim Boyle was, who I talked about earlier.
Right.
If he's playing, then I'd go Cardinals all day. But I don't know. I don't think we know for sure yet who's going to be QB there.
Yeah. Bills at Seahawks. Bills -3. That's a tough game.
It's going to be a good one. I do think the Bills win.
I think so too. Yeah, I would think so too. Saints at Chargers. Chargers -7. Man, the Saints suck. What in the fuck? The Saints
Chargers, yeah,
suck.
the Saints are pretty bad right now.
But the Chargers suck too. So I mean, I don't know if it's any better. I don't know.
What's the line again? It's 7. They're favoring the
-7.
Chargers by 7. Like, I don't like that. I think it's too many points. I don't like this. The Chargers aren't good enough to be favored by 7.
Who's the quarterback for the Saints? Is it third string QB
I
still?
I think it's still him. I don't know when Derek Carr is supposed to be back.
Because they're not bringing back what's his name? What's the guy that was their second string? They
Did you just
benched him.
almost say Trey Young?
I almost said Trey Lance.
Oh, Trey Lance is the Cowboys' third string.
Right.
No. The Saints QB is Rattler, I think. Is it Rattler? Who was their rookie QB that they drafted? Pretty sure he's the one that they're playing right now, but they've just been bad. I mean, the Broncos
Yes,
just put up 33 points on them.
Spencer Rattler, you're right.
Over the last 3 weeks, the Chiefs put up 26, the Bucks put up 51, and the Broncos put up 33 on them. Like, maybe that's why the Chargers are favored so much, but
Yeah.
shit.
And I don't know if what's his name is playing their wide receiver that they drafted. Chris Olave.
Oh, is Olave hurt?
Yeah, he was hurt that's past week. I'm not sure if he's
I
playing
don't
this
know.
week.
Let's just I don't
We're
like
talking
it.
too much about this trash bowl game. All right. Bears at Commanders. Bears -3. Taking the Bears all day. I'm just locking it in now. I know you're not going to agree with me, so I'm just taking it right now as my pick.
Well, what if I want to take the Commanders as my pick? We got to rock paper scissors this bitch because
You actually bring up a good point because I've never even thought about that.
Yeah, what if we're both on the same pick and we got to rock paper scissors that bitch? No, also I'll be honest. We don't know if Jaden Daniels is going to play, and obviously that's a factor.
Yes.
So, if obviously if the Commanders don't have Jaden Daniels, then yes, I would lean 100% towards the Bears on this game. But we just don't know what's going to happen with Jaden Daniels yet.
With or without Jaden Daniels.
Well, okay, that's your opinion, but
with the win, baby.
My thing is I think that this line, if Jaden Daniels was playing, I 100% think that line changes. Like I would almost
It
put
probably
them.
flips.
I don't know if it'll flip. I think it would go almost even. I think they might still favor the Bears based on your defense. So they might still leave you guys at like a half point or a point favorite, but that line would 100% change if Jaden Daniels was playing.
Okay. All right. We'll keep going. Panthers at Broncos. Broncos -10. I mean, go ahead.
100% lock in the Broncos here.
That's your pick?
And the Broncos are going to win this game. Well,
By
hold
11?
on. What's his name is not playing this week.
Who's that?
Andy Dalton's not playing. He was in a car accident today, so they've already announced that the backup is playing. The starter that was just horrible. He's going to be playing again. So obviously we know
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young, there you go. He's going to be starting and playing. So we obviously know how bad they were with him. So all of that is coming right back because Bryce Young's and the Broncos have a good defense. So lock in Bryce Young for like 2 interceptions in this game. Like honestly, lock them in probably for a pick 6, easy pick 6. I like let me call a first fucking like
TD.
first throw down. His first throw is gonna be a fucking pick 6 or some shit like that. It's gonna be something stupid. Yeah, it's.
I didn't know Andy Dalton
As a
wasn't
funky
playing.
bet, I don't know if there's a bet that you could put out with like you know how you do first TD of the game.
Yeah.
If you can put like a lock in a bet of like Broncos defense, the first TD of the game, and like the line is probably stupid, you know.
I'm sure there is. Let me Google.
You should probably like that would be funny to put like just $5 on some shit like that because dude, yeah, he's horrible and the Denver Broncos defense is solid as hell. I mean, the only way that doesn't happen is if they literally just run the ball 3 downs in a row or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Let's see.
I love me some Broncos in this game. I think Bo Nix has a great game as well.
Man, you're all up on the Broncos, huh?
I mean, it's against the Panthers. If it wasn't the Panthers, then I wouldn't like, you know, be as uh pushing this as much as I am, but that's what it is. I'll be honest with you. I have CJ Stroud in one of my leagues as the QB. And they're playing the Colts, and I'm debating right now whether I want to pick up Bo Nix as a fill-in starter for this week over CJ Stroud. Like that's how much I think that they are going to, you know, do well this week.
Damn. I'm gonna keep looking. We can go to the next game, but I'm curious to know what that spread would be or that line would be. Chiefs at Raiders. Chiefs -10. I mean,
The Raiders are just bad. I like that too. I mean, it's so many points, but the Chiefs are gonna just they're beating everybody, and the Raiders fucking suck. Aiden O'Connell's out. Minshew's back, I think, in at quarterback. They don't have anybody to throw to. The only reason why they've done well the last few or decent the last few weeks is because Madison has been finally starting at running back and he's been running the ball well. But the Chiefs aren't going to let them run the ball well like that. Like, lock us in some Chiefs.
I like how confident you are this week.
I'm saying, bro.
Cowboys at 49ers.
You already know, baby.
Listen, even with all the injuries that the 49ers have right now, they are still the favorite at -4.
And that's exactly why you take the motherfucking Cowboys. You already know. You already know. I'm telling you right now. If you're locking in your stupid ass Bears this week, and I can't pick the Commanders against it, lock in the fucking Cowboys.
Hey,
At
you can
+4.
you can pick whoever you want, dude.
Oh, I know I can. I'm just saying.
I'm not here to take away your pick. Giants at Steelers.
Right there. You see that? You see that?
God, that's
Cowboys.
so trash. So trash.
Cowboys.
Giants at Steelers. Steelers minus 6.5. I don't
I
even.
mean,
I don't care about that game.
I think I like that one too. I think the
You
Steelers win
just
that
like
game.
everything, huh?
I'm not, bro. I'm just giving you. I at least I have an opinion. Like you sound like you just don't know shit right now because you don't like anything.
I'm trying to figure out the spread still, or this
Only thing you
prop
felt
bet.
strongly, only thing you felt strongly about is the damn Bears. That's the only thing I got a damn opinion out of you on it. Otherwise, it's just me saying I feel good about all this shit. You can't even tell me you don't feel good about it. You're just like,
All right, let's go. We got the Vikings. We picked the Vikings. Who's your pick? Without me picking the Bears, if you want to pick Commanders, that's fine. Who do you want to lock in as your bet?
well, let's agree on some because that may dictate what I change. Like,
Okay.
if you told me right now you want me to pick one right now, like I'm gonna tell you, give me the Cowboys at +4. But
What about Ravens Browns? I like the Ravens at minus 8.5.
I'm good with it.
All right. And then second one would be, I'll give you a couple. I like the Packers -4. I like Patriots +7. I like my third one would probably be that Texans game.
Really? So not even you don't like the Chiefs over the Raiders?
I just feel like it's too many points. I don't know.
But we're picking.
I know, but I feel like the Chiefs are due for a loss, and they're just gonna. It's like when you're playing blackjack. You hit like 4 in a row. You know you're expecting a loss at some point. Just a
I get
random
that.
ass bad loss.
I get that. I 100% get that. It's not going to happen against the Raiders. It's not going to happen against the Raiders. Not.
All right. Well, I give you my 3 that I'm willing to pick from. What are you thinking?
I really want the Chiefs one, but which ones again? You said
Packers, Texans, or Patriots?
I'm not going to go with Patriots.
Okay.
Let's go. Just don't. I don't know if Jonathan Taylor is going to play, so that's why I'm like,
Iffy
the
on that one.
Colts are better with Jonathan Taylor. They're much better, but I just don't know if he's going to play.
Okay.
Let's go Packers. If I have to pick between those three, go Packers.
Okay. So as of right now, we have Vikings -3, Ravens -8.5, and Packers -4. So we're picking all chalk. Okay. And who's your pick this week?
Who's yours? Are you locking in the Bears, you pussy?
I don't have to. If I have a secondary pick, if you want to pick that, you're the guest. I'm gonna let you choose.
I gotta do it. I'm locking in the boys.
Cowboys,
I really want to, because I was talking so hard on the
Broncos.
Broncos. Like I want to pick that because of how much I laid into it.
You went hard on the Broncos right
I
now. Like
did.
they're about to win the Super Bowl.
I want to lean into that one and go with it because of how much I said, but I just I gotta. It's just one of those weeks. Like we're playing the Niners. We have plus points. Like, give me the boys. We're gonna get back to, we're gonna get back to 4-3. We're gonna send them to 3-5. I'm gonna talk shit to every 49ers fan. And you know what? If I don't, then foot and mouth, and y'all can point and laugh at me next week. That's fine. But the boys are gonna take it.
All right, that's fine. I'm taking the fucking Super Bowl, Super Bears, baby. Let's go. -3.
That's gonna be a good game. I really hope that Jaden Daniels plays. I hope that Jaden Daniels plays, and I just want to see that as a good game. Period. And however way it comes out, I just think it'll be a good game. I'm kind of disappointed that Jaden Daniels got hurt, and there's the potential that he doesn't play, because then it's like, that'd be almost like a game I would love to watch. I mean, it is a game I would love to watch. Have both of them at full strength.
It got flexed to 325 for the secondary games, whatever. What's that, 125 for you guys?
Yeah, it's 125.
Yeah. It's still crazy that you prefer to watch football at 9 in the morning. It's
10,
fucking
10,
10 in the
10,
morning,
10
whatever.
a.m. It's perfect time, bro. Perfect time.
I'm still right here. You see me looking away. I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to figure out this prop bet to see if it's on here because I've looked at 2 different sports books and it's not on there yet. So, but I am,
It's a pretty unique bet.
yeah. And here I am
It's
trying to.
like you might have to like look up the team and see what bet specifically are for the team. I don't know if there's a way to do that.
No, they do have like anytime touchdown. You can do anytime touchdown and it'd be like, um, for defense, and then it also gives you right next to it first TD option as
Oh,
well.
okay. Then I mean, that's basically what I was saying. Just as
Yeah,
a fun pick, just because.
it'll be there. It's just it may not be there this early in the week still.
Gotcha.
Maybe tomorrow. TD scores. Let's see. Bo Nix. No, it still has Andy Dalton on here. Well, he ain't playing, so don't bet
Yeah,
on Andy Dalton.
they announced it today. That Bryce Young was playing. I mean, maybe something changes. I don't know. They didn't say that Andy Dalton was hurt in the crash, but just because they're not saying it yet doesn't mean something is wrong.
Yeah, yeah, it's not on here yet, but it will be. I'll send you a screenshot when I see it on the sports books out here.
Yeah, maybe it'll be on my underdog fantasy betting app that I have. I'll
Use
throw it
promo
in there.
code. What was the promo code again?
Cruiser 87.
Cruiser 87. All right. Man, that's a long little podcast we've been going. This is our longest one, I think. Just
Is it
whatever.
really?
Yeah, but I do gotta get your take, you know? I gotta get your take on this Friday. How many games did it play?
Woo!
How many games did it play? Is it Friday, Sunday? Friday, Saturday?
I think it's Friday they play. Yeah.
Yeah, they played Friday, Saturday.
Yes, sir.
What are you thinking? Dodgers at Dodgers?
You already know. You already know. It's gonna be Dodgers and 6, baby. Dodgers and 6.
Are you going to the game at all?
No, I'm not gonna go. It's just too much money, man. I would love to, but
Garrett Cole
at
against
this
Jack
point,
Flaherty.
like at the age my son is, I would feel like it would hurt me not to take him. And I am not about to spend $2,500 on 2 tickets to go to a game. I'm just not. So I think that's for me. I just have to chalk it up, and we're watching it from home or wherever we watch them.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I'm going to be interested in watching this game so I can talk shit to you. That's pretty much it. Dodgers are minus 125 right now. The over under is 8.5 runs. I would probably take the over on that.
It's first game. We got Jack Flaherty going. There's going to be a lot of offense in this game, or in these games. There's going to be a lot of offense. Period. So it's going to be a really fun series to watch.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. So we've proved that we have the hitting power on the offense to, over compensate, I should say, for some of our lack of pitching. That was the thing against the Mets, that they had some pretty, quality starters. Same with the Padres. They had quality starters. Our starters weren't as strong. We overcame that with our bullpen. So I think it's again going to be another close series. I think there's going to be points scored. Every single person on the Dodgers is hitting well right now. But so are the Yankees. So like, to me, it's going to be a great game. I need the Dodgers to take it in 6 because I'm a little worried about how our situation with our pitching is going to be if it goes 7.
You don't think Otani's going to come back for a surprise game and one of these games? Has there been any rumors in the radio of him coming back?
No, no. I mean, the radio's always talk, but there's nothing along the lines where they can have any type of definitive anything because I don't think they're going
Can
to.
they just activate him like that too, though?
I mean, he's a
Technically a pitcher, right?
he's on the roster. I
Yeah.
mean, they can pitch any field player in a game, right? So why couldn't
Dude,
he's on the active roster? Just
here's the
because he
si-
has a position doesn't mean he has to play that position.
All right, I'll give the Dodgers props if this is what happens. Bottom of the eighth, Dodgers are up by 1 run. They need this one. They need these last 2 innings to win the ball game. They shut off the lights. Everything goes dark in the stadium. Boom, and all of a sudden you hear the bells of like the Undertaker. And the next thing you know, Otani's on the pitching mound. Then I'm like, that's fucking badass.
You know what? You know what would be
Go get it.
funnier is not the Undertaker, but and again, this is just a joke, but because he's Japanese, they play like the Godzilla song or have Godzilla just do that little scream, and then all of a sudden it's Otani on the mound or some shit like that.
Or Tokyo
And
Drift
obviously,
soundtrack.
there you go, some shit like that. Just again, just because it's total joke because he's
Yeah.
Japanese, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But it's gonna be a fun series.
Yeah. All right. And last note, Bulls lost tonight, unfortunately. First game of the season. Or no, I'm sorry. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. They won tonight. I'm sorry. They won tonight by 1 point. They actually came back. Um, Bulls need to clean up what they're doing in the middle. They're 3, 4, 5. Kind of. I'm not sure who's playing, who's going to be starting and shit like that, but promising. Not much of a storyline here. Just they got a couple players that can play different positions, and it'll be interesting to see how Donovan plays everybody. How do you feel about Bronny and James finally
Wait,
playing together?
you know what's funny is I'm on ESPN right now and it shows 81-80. Bulls had 81, but it's showing that the Pelicans won and the Bulls lost. Like it's a total error right now on ESPN for the game.
See, I thought the Bulls lost, but then I saw the scoreboard, so I thought maybe I was because I had like stopped watching after like within like 5 minutes to go within the game. Oh
I
no,
wonder if that's
the Bulls lost. The Bulls lost. Okay, I was
okay.
right. 111 to 123. What the fuck?
Oh, so ESPN just has this shit all
All right, so
jacked
I
up.
was right. I was correct. So even though still, my statement still stands. I'm interested to see how Donovan plays everybody that he has now on this roster. But my question to you is, how do you feel about the Lakers? And did you watch Bronny and LeBron play together?
Tonight? No, I mean I was at
No,
Ryan's game.
yesterday.
So.
Yesterday. Well, you
Oh
didn't
no,
watch it.
I didn't
You
watch the
definitely didn't
game.
watch it tonight.
I didn't watch it. No, I didn't watch it. So I didn't even. How much time did Bronny even play? Did
He
he?
only he played a couple minutes. It was only the second quarter, I believe, and then he didn't play the rest of the evening. He had 0
So,
points.
so as a dad, I think it's fucking awesome that they get like that's a dream come true type of thing. Like as a professional player, being able to play on the same team, like, hey, props to you. I love it for them. But at the same time, like I'm not really hyped about Bronny. I never have, I never was.
He should be in the G League right now.
The person that I'm hyped about is and I don't even know how you pronounce it, but Connect. Knecht. I
Is that
believe
the
he's
white?
out
Is that
of
the white 3-point shooter?
yes.
Yeah,
The
he's
one
actually
out of
Dalton.
Tennessee, I think he is.
Yeah,
Dalton, yeah.
he's a shooter.
Dude has a shot. He
Yeah.
has a shot. And he's a baller. He's not afraid to drive and get in the mix too. Like dude, he's a beast, man. I'm excited about him. I think
Yeah.
we've been lacking quality shooters for a while, and this guy's coming in as a rookie, and I'm excited about him. I think he's gonna be a great piece for us. So we'll see how things go. But yeah, I'm excited about him for sure.
I love the NBA. We can go. I could probably go another hour about the NBA right now, but we're not going to do that. We're going to cut it off here. Again, appreciate you coming on. Till next week, let's go 5-5 here. Let's go
Yes,
Bears.
sir.
Fuck the
Go
Cowboys.
Cowboys. Go
Fuck.
Cowboys.
I'm gonna blurp that out.
I'll blurp you out, bitch.
Yo, pause, brother. Peace.
No Diddy.
The Tony Tones world.